Hey everyone, Jake here for American Muscle, and in this video we're taking a look at the Corsa Performance Extreme Catback Exhaust with black tips, fitting 2024 and newer Mustang GT Fastbacks without the active exhaust. Now if you're on the hunt for some raucous sound and a high quality exhaust system, this setup from Corsa is going to be just what you're after. Featuring high quality materials and some neat technology to keep away drone, this is going to give you all the noise you want with no drawbacks. Now there is no getting around it, and as its name implies, this one is loud enough to get a very strong 4 out of 5 on our Wake the Neighbor scale here. So don't say we didn't warn you. But if you want volume and you want a good tone out of your exhaust, Corsa's got you covered here. Diving right in, this is Corsa's extreme level, meaning that you're going to get a lot more noise versus stock. As the name implies, and as you heard from the clips at the start of this video, this has got a lot of bark to it. Now Corsa claims that this is up to 16 decibels louder than stock, and the stock exhaust on these Mustangs isn't exactly what you'd call quiet to begin with. So this is going to be much louder than your stock or even Corsa's own Sport series. It's got a real deep burble to it at idle, and even when you lay into it, you may get some barks on the upshifts. Now of course, more volume outside means more volume inside too, and this is going to give you more volume than your standard exhaust. However, you're not going to get any drone with this system. Corsa has packed in their RSC, or reflective sound canceling technology, inside of these two mufflers here. Now the technology has been in use by Corsa since 1998, and it utilizes different specifically designed channels for each vehicle to eliminate the frequencies that cause that head-pounding drone you can sometimes get. But it doesn't mute the sound, so you're still going to get that pleasant tone and the additional volume without the literal headache. And as you can hear, these have got quite a bit of resonance to them. There's really no baffling in there. But I can tell you, even though you probably can't hear it through the camera, this has got that nice little ring, but there's no weird reverberation here, which just goes to show that that technology does work. Now, helping add to the sound and the lack of drone is the included X-Pipe here. These are becoming more prevalent in this category because they bring with them the benefits of additional sound, more volume, better exhaust gas flow, and because they allow the uneven exhaust pulses from a big lumpy V8 to cross over, which also means that they help combat drone. Now this is of course a full catback system, and it is capped off with these cool slash-cut 4.5-inch black tips. They've got this really neat finish to them, and this is unique to Corsa. You don't see too many that look exactly like this. And they are a nice difference from stock. They're a little bigger, they're a little more stealthy looking, and they're gonna have that nice angle cut to them too. So the casual passerby may not clock these at first, but once you fire the car up, there will be no mistaking that your Mustang is packing some additional punch. Now this setup is also available with a couple of different tip options too, and we do have them available on our website for you to check out. So in case that may not be your style, they've got a polished tip and a straight cut black tip as well. So again, just a matter of preference. Otherwise, the system is going to be exactly the same. Construction is another big highlight here, as the whole system is made from high quality T304 stainless steel. And it's apparent how nice this system is the moment you take it out of the box. And that's usually the case with any of Corsa's systems. Everything has a nice polish to it, and the piping is all 3-inch diameter mandrel bent stuff, and it's overall just a nice bit of kit. Now those tips that we were just talking about are also a dual wall design, and they are too made from T304 stainless, but they've got that slick black coating over top for some additional protection and good looks. Now this system also weighs about 15 pounds less than your stock system. And while that's not much, it is a nice benefit to have, and a little less weight means you might be able to go just that little bit faster. Pricing for this system comes in at about $2,100, which does put this right at the top of the category. However, this is again a really high quality system. There's a lot of good technology in it that makes it pleasant to live with. So if you want the ultimate exhaust for your Mustang and you've got the room in the budget, this one is worth the price of entry. As far as installation goes, we're gonna give this the typical 2 out of 3 wrenches, and it should take you about 2 hours to complete. Pretty much like any other catback exhaust. And just like any other exhaust, this can be a little finicky to do in your driveway just because of space constraints if you're working on jack stands and whatnot. But this is a totally bolt-in system. It utilizes all your factory exhaust hanger locations, and it comes with all the necessary clamps and hardware included. So this is definitely a job you can do at home without any special tools or skills. And to show you what's involved, let's head over to the install bay right now.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact, an extension, a 15 and 13 millimeter swivel socket, exhaust hanger tool, a pry bar, and a hammer. All right, today we're going to be putting an exhaust on our Mustang. First, we're going to watch a quick video how to uninstall a stock one, then we'll come back here to install the new one.
So the first thing we're going to do is come to the double flange behind our cat We have 4 15mm bolts that we can loosen up with a 15mm socket. Now we're going to leave this just like that for now as we work on the rest. One thing to keep in mind is when we go to pull this off, this little hook is keeping this on, so you're going to have to get a flathead screwdriver to pull back on that on both sides when we go to remove it. Next, we can come right behind our rear diff to this hanger. There's one on each side of this bracket. There's a 13mm bolt holding it on. So I've got a 13mm swivel socket on an extension to pop this off. And now we'll just come to the other side and do the same exact thing. And now with them both removed, you can push up to get those hangers off the hooks. And do that same thing on the other side. Now, last thing we need to do before we can remove this is remove these 2 bolts that were on the inside of those 2 hangers behind the rear diff. So I'm using that same 13mm socket with an extension. Now with those removed, we can push it up off the hook and pull that down to get the clearance we need. So now I've got myself a buddy to support the weight of the rear of the exhaust while I work on the front. We're going to push this towards the rear to disconnect these 2 pipes, and then we can pull it forward to pull it out of the back hangers. So now with our exhaust removed, we can take an exhaust hanger remover tool to pop off these 2 hangers because we will have to reuse them for our new exhaust. Now, last thing we need to pop off is our 2 clamps that are at the front of the exhaust. You can take a rubber mallet and get the edge of a pry bar on the edge of the clamp to tap these off.
So we're going to start up here at the front. We have our factory clamps, which we took off of our factory stock catback. We're going to line them up with our tabs and reinstall them back onto our pipes. Just make sure they line up with those tabs. And then we have 2 adapter pipes, which are just simply going to slide in the end of each clamp. And then we can get our X pipe put on. So now we have our X pipe. We're going to get 2 of our clamps on first. Now all of our clamps are the same size, so it doesn't matter. We're going to slide our X pipe into our adapter pipes. And then you just let that hang down a little bit, and we can get our muffler section on. So now we have our passenger side S pipe here with our hanger. We're going to get another clamp over. Flip that around like that. Then we can grab one of our factory hangers that we took off and put it over the new hanger here. You could slide this into our X pipe. And then we can put this hanger back up into place where it hooks onto the subframe. All right, now we're gonna put our muffler section on. You'll see that the hanger is on the inside. We already have our clamp on, so we're gonna slide that into our S pipe. Get that lined up with our hanger. And at the same time, just push that into the rear hanger. Now we can leave this all loose for now. We'll come back and tighten it all. But you can go ahead and do the same thing for the S pipe and the other muffler on the other side. So we're gonna come back to our rear hangers. We're gonna install our 13mm bolts that we took out. So I'm gonna get this threaded in by hand first. Then we'll grab our impact and 13mm swivel socket and tighten those down. So we're gonna come back here and get our rear cover installed. We're gonna slide our bracket into place and thread in our 2 bolts. And we're gonna grab the same thing, impact, extension, and 13mm swivel socket, tighten those down. So now we're gonna come to the front here and start tightening everything down. We have our 2 factory clamps and our 2 aftermarket clamps. So they all 15mm socket. So we're gonna grab our impact 15mm socket and tighten all those down. Now we're going to come back to the back of the X pipe and we have our 2 clamps here. Now you will need to push up on these 2 S pipes just to help get everything in position. We can tighten them down now. Same thing, impact and 15mm socket. All right, now we're going to come to our muffler. Once again, just push up on it just to get everything to line up and then tighten it down. Go ahead, do the same thing for the other muffler. And if you need to, make any small or minor adjustments that you might need to the angle. Last thing we need to do is put our tip on. So you see the Corsa logo is offset on the side. You do want that towards the outside of the vehicle. We already have our clamp on, so we're gonna slide that over our muffler. May need to make some minor adjustments just to get it angled right. And then tighten that down with our impact and 15mm socket. And that wraps up our install of our Corsa Performance Extreme Catback exhaust with black tips for our 2024 newer Mustang GT Fastback without an active exhaust. And remember, for everything Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.